Settings na mene? Oh, gashi nan Amaplex. Waiting.
Okay.
All right.
What?
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, my brother. No problem. I'll speak to you later. Okay. How are you, sir?
I'm fine, sir. It's good to have you.
Good to see you, sir. But I'm not sure who I'm talking to, sir.
Sir?
This is chairman, right?
No, it's not the chairman, sir. This is the moderator for today, sir.
Okay, moderator, your boys are loyal, sir. How are you? That's the chairman.
If you call me boss, sir, then what are you, sir? It's a pleasure having you on the program, sir.
Same here, my dear brother.
Thank you very much. Good morning to you, ladies and gentlemen. And it's good to have you today on the program organized by the Young Lawyers Forum, Gombe branch. We are delighted to have everyone on board as we commence the program. We have with us today a special personality whom I'm very sure all young lawyers across the country are very delighted to have in their midst. He is a man that always supports young lawyers, as we all know. Recently, and not just recently, even in the past, he's a man of timber and caliber, and we are most obliged to have him with us today. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to start this program, and I would like to point out certainly how we are going to go about with the program. The program is a short one. We are going to have just an hour or so of discussion about the topic, building a successful legal career, what a young lawyer should know. Now, this is a very important question for all young lawyers, because every day, most especially at this moment, when we have the NB elections, everyone is talking about young lawyers' welfare, young lawyers' what, and it seems it's just all about young lawyers. But after elections, we are only left with only few personalities like our guest here today who help us and guide us and inspire us to continue our sojourn in the profession. So we are glad to have him on board, and thank you very much, sir. And I would like to state, sir, there's an adage by the Arabs. They say, oh, our guests, had it been you visited us, you could have found us. However, in this instance, we are the guests and you are the Lord of the house. So, sir, today you are the Lord of the house, and we are very grateful for your hospitality. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to first
I'm most humbled with your kind words.
Thank you, sir. So we are
network or is network. Yes, it was skipping, but now I'm hearing you.
all right. Thank you.
I get my own office network.
So, some of the things to know about our guest today. Our guest is the youngest senior advocate of Nigeria. He was privileged to be called as a senior advocate of Nigeria last year at the age of 34. Now, that's a feat that no one has attained in this country so far. And it's a cause to actually celebrate him. And we as young lawyers, we celebrate him more so because he is always with us. If you could remember earlier this year, he an essay, the Young Lawyers Forum, actually, the national branch organized an essay competition, which was in his honor, and he was the sponsor. I would like to state at this moment. Hello, sir. It seems he's having some problem with his connection. Yes, he's having a little problem. Well, he's having a little problem with his connection, and certainly we'll get him back, I'm very sure. Oh, okay.
Check the options. Okay. Sekagama.
Because the network is being funny.
Yes, I can see that. There's no problem, sir.
Yeah.
So we were telling the people a little about you, and we informed them that you are the youngest senior advocate of Nigeria at the age of 34. And that would basically be my first question when we start. I would have to ask you some questions about that. So he is the managing partner. You can see at the age of 35 now, he's the managing partner of Omaplex Law Firm, which is one of the leading lights, most especially in this era when we have diversification. He heads basically a lot of the emerging trends of legal practice in that law firm. He is into intellectual property, artificial intelligence, and what have you. And I would allow us to hear from him himself as we go through this discussion. So thank you for having you, our dear guest, and we hope you would stay with us to the end of this session. So at this moment, I would like to, sir, I would like to inform you about the good things that Young Lawyers Forum of Gombe Branch has been doing over the years, most especially this administration. So they've held a number of programs, both online and even physically, before the coronavirus pandemic came in. And they are really doing a good thing, and I believe they're following in your footsteps, sir. So, yes. So we hope you would commend them for us as well. So going into the topic proper, my first question: a senior advocate at the age of 34, sir. What are the secrets, sir? I know I can never be the one at that age, but I would love to know the secrets because I have other friends that might attain that feat, sir. So, what's your take?
Maybe I should say to you that never say never. It's possible for you to become the next youngest senior advocate of Nigeria. But of course, let me just say thank you to the Young Lawyers Forum Gombe Branch for counting me worthy to be a part of you. I feel most privileged, and I say I do not take it for granted. I am very, very grateful. That being said, I hope all of us are keeping safe this period, and I hope that we're trying our best. I think the best thing that we can do right now to win is to ensure that we keep safe. I'm sure you guys are hearing of a lot of people dying. The trick to it is let's just hope to stay alive. It's not what we can see, and that's the really bit of the challenging part, and I'm sure it's slowing down a lot of works for all of us. So going to your question, please say the question again so that I don't go out of context. What was your question again?
Yes, we just want to know the secrets about you became a son at the age of 34. The youngest ever.
So it's really no secret. And a young man published an article, I think I saw it 2 weeks ago, about list of people that have become SAN in their prime or at their very young age or ages. And I'm sure we all know Didi Dodo. I think Oga Dodo is
Yes.
even from the state. I'm not particularly sure now. And then you know JK Gadzama.
Yes.
You know, there's my brother Silk who works with Liman. Diko Umar
Diko.
is also a
Yes.
very young man who
Yeah.
who adorns the silk at a very young age. So for me, I do not see anything, in all honesty, particularly different from all of their own. It's just maybe when the month that I was born. But really,
Yes.
for all of us, I think what is most central to all of us is desire. And the story is that if you don't desire a particular thing, then you really would not even know how to get it. That's one. And for me, I also say that being an SAN at the age is really nothing spectacular. And pardon my English for saying that, because a whole lot of people are doing well in different things. I only wanted to be a lawyer on the street, simple, and I wanted to be the best at it, right? And then I'm sure there are some of our colleagues listening to us that all that they want to be would be on the bench. They also want to be in the corporate line. So I do not feel that the fact that you're an SAN at this particular age is something spectacular or different from someone that makes the bench, either as a magistrate or as a judge, even at the age of 34. But I'm sure there are so many people on the bench who got there even before they are 30, and I feel that those are the people we should celebrate because they've put in a lot of work into it. And also, there are a lot of corporate commercial lawyers that are doing a whole lot of stuff, and well, my take is if you know where you're going to, that's fine, and that's what is important. And in all of this discussion, if anybody will take anything out of it, what is most important is knowing where you want to be. My race is different from your race, Mr. Moderator, and of course, it's different from the chairman's race, and it's different from every other person's race. And I
Yes.
say to people that sometimes it looks as if you're walking and nobody is seeing it. And I tell people it's a matter of time, And for me, a combination of a number of things. Keep your secrets to yourself. Don't tell everybody where you want to get to. You don't need to. And thank God for social media now that everybody knows what everybody's doing.
Exactly.
I honestly do not think that everybody should know what you want to do. And
Yes.
keep it to yourself because, sometimes I was telling one of my friends yesterday, the person was in my office, and I was telling the person that in our place, they say those who have heads don't have caps. Those who have caps don't have heads.
Wow.
Imagine that you are the one that has a head, and the cap that the person needs is your idea, and you go out and tell the person is complete.
Indeed.
So why not
Indeed.
just keep your own idea to yourself and don't go about telling people what you want to do? But what is most important, I was looking at the map of Gombe just a few minutes ago, and
Okay.
maybe this is the best analogy I can give to all of us. It's easier for anybody from Gombe to reach Borno faster than anybody going from Gombe that is heading towards Abuja. But I
Sure.
tell you, it is possible that that person going to Abuja that knows the way and is focused about it will get to Abuja first before the person
Yes.
going to Borno.
Indeed.
And there are a lot of distractions that will come your way as an individual. But if you know that where you're headed, this is where you're headed, then why not just stick to it? And for me, that's maybe one of the things that helped me. All I wanted to be in my life was just become the best lawyer. And I must tell all of you, I did not want to be a lawyer. My parents forced me to be lawyer. And maybe your own generation now, you people, you choose what you want to be. But in my own generation, your parents look at you, you Douglas, Dodo, Ajale Gogo, go and become doctor. And that's it. Just
Exactly.
take one and become a technician. Go and do it. That's how our own generation, well, I'm not that old, but then that's what happened to us. Maybe nowadays you hear people say, I want to become a computer scientist, an engineer, a lawyer, doctor, and you stick to it and your parents will allow. But in my own days, my dad just told me, it's not possible for you to become a lawyer, a doctor, you don't have the brain for it. Shikena. That's all.
That's all.
Go and do anything. And my mom told me that when I complained, I said, your husband said I should go and become lawyer. What is even lawyer? In fact, interestingly, I did not even know the spelling of lawyer. I remembered something that happened when my dad asked me to spell lawyer. Lawyer that I've never known how to spell. It is you that said I should go and become lawyer. And I remember the spelling I gave him was Layer.
Wow.
He beat the. He said, can't I know that there's something wrong? I said, lawyer. Law. And I didn't get it. It took me 2 days to get the spelling of what lawyer was. But my mom now called me and said, now that your dad says that you cannot be a doctor, go and be a lawyer and be the best that you can be in it. And I said, Mom, is that? I said, no problem. I'll go and do that. And you know, of course, that now brings us to a level of discussion which is different. So I hope that answers the question.
It's answered exhaustively. It's answered exhaustively, sir. And we're very grateful for that insight, sir. And I myself, I would like to tell you, sir, that I never wanted to be a lawyer initially. I was a science student in secondary school, but mathematics did the magic for me to become a lawyer. So, sir, coming down to the topic, building a successful legal career. Recently, sir, in the essay competition organized in your honor, I participated, and fortunately for me, I was the second runner-up. And what I wrote about is about the diversity of the legal profession, how we should look at the legal profession, not just as litigation and all that. So my question here is, sir, or rather, I would like you to enlighten us more about what legal career should mean. Is it just litigation and corporate commercial, or how should young lawyers look into this, the legal career? How should young lawyers look at it?
Okay, thank you for that question. You said it. The legal career is not limited to litigation, but trust me, litigation is a big and huge aspect of it. And recently people are talking about commercial law. Well, that's fine. There's also the bench part of it. There's also, what do you call it, being an in-house counsel as part of it. And as far as I am concerned, what is most important is what keeps you happy, what makes you... Now, two sides to it so that I can balance it. For me, when I was told to become a lawyer, what I did was I looked for a law firm around. Unfortunately, I was able to intern with a lawyer whose name is Kayode Olatoke, is a senior advocate of Nigeria now. And at the point that we met, I was his litigation secretary and his library assistant. And that afforded me the opportunity of seeing the law, the way he was working raw. And it made me to decide what I wanted to be. I loved the times that we went to court and he would be submitting and giving arguments. And he's excited, it makes him happy. And you know, then as far back as 2003, that I started work, 2003, that I started work with him. The joke then was, if you're going to court, you must have this authority. So authority is, of course, you all know that is the citation or the law report that you would give to the judge. But what struck me then was the fact that I enjoy the fact that you're looking for an authority to defend your matter and you having a joker, right, to state your case. Amongst some of us that worked with him then, some people liked the fact that they write or they listen to people's argument and say you are correct, you are wrong. I say to people, I can never be a judge because I'm too restless for it. And I feel that those people that are called to be judges or justices, they are really special people ordained by God to do it. And the reason for that is their line is they need a lot of patience. They need a lot of patience to be able to do that. I do not have that patience. I know my own capacity. And with the fact that I entered a law firm, I got to understand that there is the bench side of life. There is the the bar side of life. I understood that there is the corporate side of life. In fact, apart from the fact that it was, now I do a lot of corporate commercial work, but then I did not particularly like sitting on boards or being a company secretary. And I did not even want to be a company secretary or work as an in-house counsel. I just feel that there's so many grounds to be attained, so many grounds to conquer. And that is for me. I really do not like that easy and quiet life. I prefer that there's a problem today, we're trying to solve it, we're looking for answers. And that's what informed my own decision for my own career path. And because I'm a restless person, I know that being a judge will not work for me. And also being an in-house counsel will not work for me. So sometimes I also need to balance this statement. I was sharing with my friend yesterday, I told the person that you also need to know what works for you. Because what works for you might not be what will work for me. And it must be an understanding for yourself, right? And so the fact that somebody is in litigation and is doing well is different from if the person you put in corporate, it might not do well.
Yeah, exactly.
And also the fact that wherever you are at whatever point in time, you need to ensure that that is what you want to do. And the fact that we're all doing a job. It is a job. It's not meant to be interesting. As far as I am concerned, I apologize for whoever's opinion is different. But the fact that the work is a job, you might not really 100% say you love it, right? Exactly. So that I'm trying to balance the part that you feel that once it's a work that you're doing, you must love your job. Not necessarily. Everything, as far as I'm concerned, is a means to an end. And this career that we're all choosing is a journey or a process. But if you begin to think that it's an end in itself, then it will become boring. So why not do your job that keeps your family together, or that keeps money coming in? Then by the side, you can be doing whatever thing that makes you happy. Or after you are retired, go and do what makes you happy. But of course, you need to also balance that. Some people we need to balance the fact, and the decision is yours. Do you want to keep doing what makes you happy and you are going slowly to nowhere? Or you want to do that job that doesn't make you happy and is really giving you a mileage to be able to do what you want later? So that says it for me anyways.
All right, thank you very much, sir, for that answer to that question. Now having known what legal career should mean, maybe, as you say, to summarize it, a legal career is what you feel you want to do with respect to the law, what aspect of the law you want to practice. What works for one doesn't have to be what works for another person. So, sir, now to build that career, for instance, a person has chosen an aspect of the law that he chooses to practice in. Now, what are the building blocks for starting an inspirational career that would inspire young lawyers during his own time?
Okay. There are a lot of things that we all need, of course, we all need to do to build that block, or the blocks that we need. One, there must be a desire. You must desire that you want to attain a particular height in your profession. Once you've chosen that this is where you want to be. And this is the analogy for me. Wherever you are now, if your desire is, if you take a stone, if you step out of your office, take a stone, and really your desire is to throw the stone on the roof of the place that you're in. If you close your eyes and say that you want to make this stone touch the sky, right?
Yes.
You would definitely, it's possible, of course, you can never touch that sky. But if you put in the whole of your best to say you want to touch the sky or reach the sky, with the effort that you put into throwing that stone, trust me, When that stone is coming down or coming back down, it is higher than that roof that you actually really intended to get to.
Yes.
And the trick is, whatever path that you choose, aim for the sky, aim for being the best. And the truth is, a number of people do not even have where they are going to. And this is with all due respect, this is with all due apologies to people. If you ask yourself or ask people around you, so in 10 years, in 20 years, where do you want to be? What do you want to be? As far back as 2006, even before I became a lawyer, because I became a lawyer in 2008, every of my classmates knew I wanted to become, I wanted to go to, into practice. But I knew, if you asked me in 2006, I had said to myself, I want to be a senior advocate of Nigeria.
Wow.
And that changed the way I read my books. It changed the way I networked with people. It changed the way my approach towards my work. So what is most important, at least for a start, is having a desire. Desire where you want to be, how you want to get there, right? And then you now need to plan your way, plan your graph towards getting there. Now, once you're able to plan, and you need to start planning early, right?
Yes.
Imagine you want to be, for example, a judge. What does it take to be a judge? A lot of people don't even know. Just say they want to be a judge. And then if you ask them for the requirements, they don't know. Right. But once you have a plan to say you want to be an SAN, and truth be told, I've been reading the requirements to become an SAN since 2006. Wow. I became an SAN in 2019. So it took me 13 years. And I was reading every change that they made, right? I knew it. So I followed through on my plan in respect of it, and I kept it to myself. You also need to ensure that in all of this, it will happen that there will be a lot of sacrifices that you need to make, right? You cannot afford to live your life like every other person. For me, a lot of the times, I don't leave my office until maybe 11 p.m., 12, 1 a.m. at times.
Wow.
Sometimes I go home as late as 2 a.m. reading. And because of what I wanted to do, I reduced the number of hours of my sleep. Yes. Average person will take 8 hours sleep. As far as I'm concerned, that
8 hours is too serious.
Really, I really don't sleep than 3 hours in a day. This is me being as straightforward as possible. And mine is appreciating out. In your search to becoming whatever thing you want to do in your career, you have to sacrifice some things. You need to also avoid distractions. There'll be a lot of distractions. I knew I wanted to be, a senior advocate, actually. And I got a job with the best or the largest bank in the whole of Africa.
Yes.
But I turned it down. I said I didn't want it. In fact, that even caused me a problem in my house because they thought I was crazy. Twice they offered me a job I said I didn't want. I got offer to go to masters abroad for 2 years. But I turned it down because my boss told me that in 2006 that it only takes 10 years of undivided life for you to be able to get to wherever you want to get to. So I said, if out of that 10 years, I take up a job with a bank, that means I've taken out of it. Out of that 10 years, I take up my free scholarship to study abroad. Really, I've taken out of it.
Yes.
And those were distractions that I could not afford. Do you understand? So we all need to guard against distraction. Also, when you want to get to wherever you want to get to, you need mentors, you need people in your life that will direct you and guide you because they have been through it. One of my sources of inspiration is Kehinde Ogumiju, SAN, who is, who also became a senior advocate of Nigeria at 11 years at the bar.
Wow.
And I met him in 2012. He was called in 2005 At 2012, Kehinde Ogumiju, now SAN, was already qualified to become a senior advocate of Nigeria.
Wow. That's
7
interesting.
years at the bar.
7 years.
And you know what made, so I knew that there is nothing spectacular about me deciding to become an SAN. If someone that is my friend and brother, I call a mentor, was already qualified as far back as 2012. Of course, he got it when he got it in 2017.
Okay.
Right?
Yes.
But between myself and himself, we knew he was qualified as far back as 2012. And his cases were complete. And, you know, we started sharing, what do you have? What don't you have? What can we do? What can we not do? And, you know, once you begin to desire things like that, it's easier for you to be able to execute it. And if you dream it, you can achieve it. If you don't dream it, then it's not possible. And then I say to people, like I said when we started, keep your dreams to yourself. Don't go out there and be doing videos, let people know what you are up to, how you want it. Some people are, anyway, I say to people that sometimes God sends people to your life to distract you, or to even ensure that you will not even get to where you are going to. But if you keep it to yourself, then nobody knows where you are heading.
Sure.
And you know, those are the things that are building blocks. So as a matter of recap, you need to desire, you need to plan, you need to, of course, there are a lot of sacrifices that you do. There'll be a lot of distractions that will come your way that you need to avoid. Then you need a mentor, somebody to guide you along the way, and then keep yourself.
Indeed. Thank you very much, sir. Yes, indeed. Focus, planning, mentorship, persistence, and hard work are all those things you mentioned in this summation. Thank you very much for that wonderful answer, sir. Now, going back to the question now, let's look at it from an angle of this era, perhaps the 20th and 21st century. Now, you are faced with a lot of technology, you know, disruptions here and there in every aspect of human life. And I personally believe that there's no aspect of humanity that's not governed by the law. And if technology has reached other aspects of humanity, then definitely it has already reached the law. But still we have this technological gap in Nigeria. Recently I was reading one of your articles that you were discussing about technology and why lawyers should keep abreast of the trends in technology. And I was looking at the need for us to have technology in our practice of legal profession. What would you say about that?
Okay, I feel that without technology, we really cannot move forward.
Yes.
And one of the great philosophers says that we cannot allow the society to evolve, and then we lawyers stay back, let the evolution take place, and will not it. As it is now, we cannot even go far without technology. Of course, technology could be distracting. Now you're in Gombe, my brother. I've not met you before, and I'm sure there are about other people on this platform that we're talking on and we're sharing. And without technology, it's not possible for us to be able to interact. You know, and with the way we're talking, if somebody are not even known that we've not met before, it will be as if these people are friends for a lifetime. But that's the advantage of technology. And rather than focusing on the distractions that it will give to us, or it will be to us, then we can focus on the fact that we can build or leverage on it. Yes. And as young lawyers, you know, I think a trick that a lot of us don't know is that a lot of these older people, they are jealous of us. They cannot even technological space. And you know, we can take advantage of it. Like you said to me now, you read an article I wrote. And if it's not for technology, you're not able to read it. I was telling my friends yesterday, telling the person that if you do not take advantage of the technology that you have, it becomes a distraction to you. You can use your phone, Google the next law, Google the next trend, Google place you want to be, Google the jurisdiction you want to work, Google their laws there, and it's going to be helpful for you. So I feel that for lawyers, we need a lot of this technology. And we also need to guard against it to ensure that it's not a distraction to us. Imagine you have a case in court and you're stuck up, or you're stuck in court, and you do not have access to a physical library.
Indeed.
How do you intend to do it? You need technology to be able to use a law pavilion, for example, or a legal juriscope online, or whatever technology that you're using to do your research. You have a new area and your client says, lawyer, can you do this for me? You say, would you turn him down to say you cannot do it?
No, absolutely.
Then you have the technology, you have the facilities, you can take advantage of it and go through it and ensure that you use it for your own advantage. So for me, technology is now part of our lives, right? And interesting, there will be a lot of cases that will come up as offshoot of technology now,
yes.
Right? Issue of data protection, issues of intellectual property, so many issues that will come up as a result of technology. And if I would recommend to young lawyers, I feel that we, of course, I consider myself as one of us. We all need to begin to now do a lot of work, a lot of research in respect of this technology. And we cannot allow a country like Ghana or Zimbabwe or Kenya, for example, to South Africa or Egypt, right? Not to even talk about the UK, the US, or Russia. We all need to develop these things together, and we all need to be part of the legal framework to the development of this, what you call it. So that's it for.
Yes, thank you very much. When you made mention that there are going to be cases arising out of technological advancement and all that, more so as regards the NDPR. I remember yesterday I was going through the headlines and I saw an interesting case which I had to read. That I think there's a coalition. I can't remember the name actually. That they were suing. They sued Zoom. Yes, for infringement of the NDPR, most especially as regards their privacy policy. And so due to the coronavirus, they could not serve them properly in the US. So the court directed that they should serve them via email. Well, I know of a case that you can serve notices via email, but I don't know of service of court process. So when you were mentioning that there would be cases, it started to make sense to me that indeed we are advancing when it comes to technology.
But there are a lot of, I was going to mention that there are a lot of issues on piracy, issues of cybercrime that will happen. And those are cases that, and really, they are really not particularly different from what we're doing now. Issues of cybercrime, it's still a criminal aspect, but it's on technology.
Yes.
And so if we can build ourselves up in issues of technology and merging it with issue of criminal aspect, and merging it with technology, then we'll have some level of exposure that you would even be able to explain more than an older man. Imagine the oldest SAN in Nigeria coming to argue a fine point of law and technology. I'm sure you'll be sitting there and be wondering, what does Baba want to come at? But I feel he would rather yield a floor to you or myself to give an explanation, as to how this thing is working.
Yes.
Do you understand? And that's the advantage that we as younger people, as a younger generation now. Indeed. Just to add to what you just said.
Yes, indeed. That's very good. Now, indeed, so this raised another question to me, or rather, maybe I would want you to state more on this issue that recently there have been programs. Actually, I participated in some of them, which are actually not law programs, especially this online learning on LinkedIn and others. I would want you to encourage young lawyers to participate more in these kinds of programs. Recently, I participated. I earned a certificate in one of these programs about information security, where I was learning a lot of things about computer science, but then you can, as a lawyer, figure out the legal issues that come out of these cyber crimes and other things. So we would like to hear some words of encouragement from you as regards participating in these kinds of programs.
Okay, so I'll share a secret. During this coronavirus pandemic era, what we did in our office was to ensure that all the lawyers should choose the courses that they want to study
Yes.
online, and it was compulsory, and you come and give a report on it. But
Wow.
I specifically told them that you need to do this because if your area now, like you said, on information technology and the areas that you mentioned, tomorrow, if you are saying anything about it, I am sure it will not look green to you. You would have
Yes.
something that you can say about it. Now, imagine another person has picked up on constitutional law, right? Or enforcement of human rights, or cybercrime, or information technology, or whatever aspect that you feel that is good to you, that you feel that you'll be able to use later in life. And let me tell you, the trick to this profession is the more information you have, the better for you. The more knowledge you have about so many areas of law, the better for you. Imagine you're sitting on a board and somebody brings an issue with technology and they say it's just a lawyer. You be like, no, you tell them what it is about it. And somebody else brings something to say about finance, and you know you've studied a course of 2 weeks of finance. I am sure you'll be able to say something. In fact, one of my friends, George, you told me now, we were on a webinar together, and he mentioned that when they started Power in Nigeria, he didn't know anything about it, but he took a crash course for a weekend. And now everybody, as far as they are concerned, is the leading lawyer in power sector in Nigeria. He said he only took a crash course.
Wow.
Do you understand?
I do.
And you know, we cannot tell what importance it will be on what you have learned, you know. So for my own office, I said everybody must go through a course, and I was able to undergo my own fellowship, award writing in arbitration. I finished mine during this Corona period.
Yes.
And you know, so at least I know that I'm holding on to that for this. This is my Corona gift for myself, and it kept me busy.
Yes.
And I keep telling another person, thank God for the use of technology now. You go through all those courses, you can even say 5 areas, and what you've learned, I encourage you, write an article on it.
Okay.
Vis-a-vis our definition here, vis-a-vis, even do a critic on it, and you know, write a critic on it, you know. So if you continue to do that, then eventually people will see you as an authority in it. And because somebody has now written on it, you have also contributed your knowledge in respect to it. If they Google online and check topics on this, then certainly come. For technology, it's not like human beings. It's got to be posted anything on an article. The computer will find you and say, this man is also an authority. So I encourage everybody to please do a number of these courses, and then of course without losing sight of your normal day-to-day work, and then of course be able to ensure that you gain something tangible from it. Thank you.
Thank you very much, and I'm very sure you're an advocate of writing, having sponsored the OILF essay competition recently, and we are very grateful for that. And then maybe my own last question, or maybe
Round up.
yes, we're about to round up now, and the last question I would ask, you've been talking about publicity, about one does not need to share with the public where he's headed to. And then some other people would be talking about networking and all those. So we would like you to please, just in a few words, enlighten us more about maybe the social media etiquette, because we cannot do without social media now. It's part of us. So we just want to know a few the tips about social media etiquettes for young lawyers as they progress in their careers.
Okay, I'm sure a lot of us are in different social media platforms, but the question is, do they even know what you do? Your class alumni, your state alumni, your mosque alumni, your church alumni, do they know what you do? The advantage of that, there is a legal discourse. as a lawyer, yes, you can lend in your voice in it, you know. But of course, in all of that, you do not now go to them on your social media platform to say, I am going to be the next judge in my state. In fact, the fact that some people know, they will write a petition against you.
And we're
You
in the
cannot
era
go
of
out and say,
petitions now.
and yes, we're in the era of that. You cannot go line and say, I'm going to be a senior advocate at the age of 30. They will say, we're waiting for you. Let's see how you will do it.
Indeed.
Do you understand it?
Yes.
Of course. What I meant by saying you do not go sharing your secrets to people is the fact that you don't need to keep telling people where you want to head, where you want to get to. But lending your voice to a particular discussion is of tremendous importance to us as lawyers. Who knows who is reading it? Now imagine the moderator, you write on information technology and you also post it. Then it becomes part of the resources that young lawyers can use for their practice.
Yes.
Do you understand it?
Yes.
So those are important. I mean, for the fact that social media is good, it can also be a distraction. But you can also use it to your own advantage for what you want it to be, so that when you write your write-ups, now I think recently there was somebody that made a production of one music video. He did not need a producer. He did not need anybody to market it. I think he just went on YouTube and posted it. It became viral. Unfortunately, I don't know the song anyways, but it became viral for him. So he had cut down all the, going through a record label, music producer, blah, blah, blah. They were the ones looking for him. He took advantage of the social media.
Yes.
Imagine somebody on the constitutionality of using technology in legal practice.
Yes.
So when anybody wants to do anything in relation to that, then people will know that some guy from Gombe had written on that. And if, let's say for this era that we're now going to conferencing, they can invite the person to speak. And it's an advantage. Everybody knows that, oh, he's proficient in this area of legal practice. And you know, it's advantageous. So that's it for me, my dear brother.
All right. Thank you very much, sir, for this wonderful session. And I think we have, maybe I should just run through the questions that were asked. I think there's one question that he says, how can one who doesn't have a clear direction for now, how does that person go about finding passion in legal practice? That's the question. A person that has no passion yet, how does he go about finding a passion?
Okay, so the easiest way to that is look for a mentor, like I mentioned to you, that is doing well in that legal practice. Probably you have met him in court. Probably you've seen him on TV. And stalk him. Say to yourself, you want to be like him.
Yes.
You want to walk the way he walks. You want to talk the way he talks. You want to reason the way he reasons. I'll share a secret with you. I have one of my mentors. He's a mentor, but he's not, we don't speak. He's somebody I know from afar, right, that I consider as a mentor. Whenever he's going to court, I just ask his people in his office, when is Oga going? That was then anyways. They'll say he's going on Monday, Wednesday, and a particular day. I will go early in court and go and sit down and hear his argument. Guess what? I discovered that whenever he's coming to fight in court, of course, or foment trouble, not particularly fighting trouble, it's just to, those days I know that his clients are in court. When he sits down, he turns his left hand away from the judge and doesn't look at the judge. So the judge will ask him, Mr. So, is there any problem? He say, my lord, all is not well. And that is where he will take off from. Do you understand it?
Yes.
And so the judge has now gotten his attention. Within a few 2 minutes, he will say exactly what he wants to say.
Yes.
Right? Some other day, when he's coming to beg, first thing he will begin to say is, my lord, he'll begin to eulogize the court. Tell the court how wonderful it is the judge has been over the past 10 years. Do you understand it? But you learn those tricks. And those are the things that will now make you enjoy the profession. And so for me, that endeared me towards advocacy. So now, if I want to go there and fight in court, not of course physical fight, or for men trouble, as we say, you will see that I'm not looking
Yes.
at the judge. Like now, Lanet say, what's the problem? Say, my lord, all is not well, and that's where. So I know attention.
Yes.
And that's a. And for that is an experience I learned as far back as 2011. Do you understand? And it
Yes.
keeps my mind, or made me interested
Yes.
in the profession. And I wanted to be like that particular lawyer and
Yes.
argue like the particular lawyer. He became
Yes.
an SAN. I wanted to be an SAN myself.
Yes.
Do you
Indeed.
understand it?
I do understand perfectly.
If for you don't even have a drive, the fact that you are like that person keeps you happy. And you know that that has worked for you, at least until you now get to know that this is what you want to do.
Yes.
I want to be like this person, enough for you. And that's my answer to that question.
Thank you very much for that wonderful answer. And so we've run out of time already, and we have maybe just in 1 minute if you can answer. It's the last question, and we just want to round up now. And it's about, how do you build your client base? That's the question. How does one build his client base?
Okay, so the trick to building client bases, in all honesty, you start from friends and family.
Yes.
Their friends.
Yes.
From their friends to their friends' bosses, from their bosses to their bosses' friends, and then from their bosses' friends to the markets they know you.
Yes.
It's a gradual process.
Yes.
If you grow up, you will stay there. If you jump up, you will come down. And usually I say, look for a particular area of law and carve a niche for yourself.
Yes. All right.
It's easier for you to build gradually as against hoping that you will just appear like that. And trust me, if you make a list of all the lawyers that are doing well now in Nigeria, there was a time they were not doing well.
Exactly.
There was a time they had to go through the ranks. There is no automatic progress anywhere. But one thing is sure is that they were focused in what they were doing, and they started building gradually. Imagine if you do a case well for your friend's friend. Trust me, if his own friend has a problem, they will refer them to you.
Indeed.
If in that person's office, they don't even know you and they are looking for a lawyer and they know this particular human being is good, they will come to you. Everybody is looking for solutions to their problems. So I say to you, to build a client base, be a solution giver and not a problem maker.
Thank you very much. And I think on that note, we come to the roundup of this discussion. And before the end, I would like to call on the chairman of the Young Lawyers Forum to say his final words on the program. And I would urge you to please thank him for us for organizing these kinds of programs. I believe we've been doing well, and the testimonies around here in Gombe are very much great. And we are really happy to have him as our chairman here. So, Mr. Chairman, please, you can say your final words.
Compliments of the day, ladies and gentlemen. Learned Silk, sir, is nice to have you on board, sir.
Thank you very much, sir.
Yes, I would like to, at this juncture, use this medium to thank the Learned Silk for having our time and interacting with us. And to all the participants, we thank you all. We really appreciate you all. And so we look forward to having you some other time. Despite the fact that your schedules are very tight and busy, we are very much grateful to have you on board, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I would like to say thank you to you for counting me worthy for this time. I am so grateful. And like the moderator has said, we should say thank you to you. It shows that you're doing well, and that's why you have these followers, people following you, on the things that you do. And I please plead with you, do not relent, do not get tired. These are seeds that we sow for the future. And God in his infinite mercy will reward us. And I would like to say to every other person that is listening to us and that is part of us, thank you so much for being part of this program. I'm sure you guys can reach out to me anytime. I'm sure on the social media you can find my social media handles there. And then, of course, you can keep communicating. And I'm sure the chairman has my number. Please feel free to get my number and stay in touch. and we'll continue to talk. Thank you
It's
so
okay.
much. I feel so humbled and privileged. Thank you very much. And to Mr. Moderator, thank you very much. I am grateful for your kind words and for your time. Thank
The
you.
pleasure is all mine, sir. Thank you very much. And with this, our fellow viewers, we thank you all for having time to watch this program live on Instagram from the beginning to the end. And I'm very sure that you've gained a little, a lot out of the little that he could share with us today, because I know he has a lot more to share with us, but due to time and other commitments of his and ours, we have to draw the curtain at this moment. So ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for your time, and with this I say goodbye. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Take care. Thank you very much.
You're
Bye.
welcome, sir.
How do you stop it?
Oh, end it.